Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to show you what I made in the month of June. It was quite a busy month for me. I ended up making way more than I thought I would, partially because there was like a mini heat wave here in the Netherlands and none of my summer clothes were fitting, so I whipped up a bunch more. And I'm really excited to show you. I'm here in the studio. I always laugh at myself a little bit when I say that because it's really just the attic. And it's very warm in here today, but I'm here so I can show you all of the things that I made and do a little try on and talk about the process and what I thought of the pattern and the fabric. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'll start with what I'm wearing. This is the By Hand London Tamzin dress. And overall, I'm really happy with it. This was in my June plans and also my Make 9. So I've had this dress in my mind since like December, January, and I'm really happy that I got it all made up. I feel like a garden goddess. The cottagecore vibes in the design are definitely coming through with this print. And yeah, I feel like I should be tending a little like picket fence garden on a picturesque like cottage. Yeah, I really like how it turned out. I will say I had some struggles with the pattern. Some of it my fault and some of it I think maybe not. So firstly, I mentioned in my June plans video that this is my second version. The first version I made, I cut the size too small, and I thought that that was like me being silly. But I think I actually got confused because there's a US size and a UK size. So this one here is a US 16 and a UK 20, which I think is like, I think I'm right between this size and the size down. Because yeah, the smaller size, it was definitely too tight across the back. But this one is a bit big here in the shoulders. I took about 1.5 centimeters out of the waist to just like bring it up a little bit. And the other thing is that I had the fabric requirements listed. I even like bought a little bit extra. And it wasn't enough. So I didn't get to do the lovely pin tucks on the skirt. So this is just a gathered rectangle out of the fabric I had left over because I was about 30 centimeters too short. Even using the fabric layout, making sure that like my fabric was wide enough. So that's a bit of a bummer. I think I will maybe let them know to update that. But even so, I'm really happy. I got the pin tucks in on the sleeve and I think that they're really lovely, even if they kind of get a little bit lost in the small print, which is why I'm not like super bummed about the skirt because I still have the length. And it's very like billowy and flowy. I will say it's also quite warm in this fabric. This is a viscose twill, and I had kind of thought that this would be a good dress for summer because it is again like so billowy and soft and flowy. But the fabric is actually like quite warm, so I think it'll be better for autumn and even winter. I could layer it up with like a black turtleneck. I think will be really cute. But yeah, it's not quite a summer make. Maybe on those like rainy days we get here in the Netherlands, it could be good for that, but definitely not for the heat wave that we had in June. So that's the Tamzin dress, and on to my next make. Okay, so this is the next outfit that I made. This is what I made for Sew Your Pride. This is the Helen's Closet Jackson tee paired with the free range slacks from Sew House 7. I really love this kind of like 70s vibe that it has. I love that this is kind of a rainbow stripe, but like still a bit subtle, and I can wear it like every day. Yeah, I really love how both of these things came together. I will say this is my first time matching stripes, and I did okay. They're not perfect. I'm not sure which side it is. One of them is like just a little wonky. But yeah, I think I don't really enjoy matching stripes. I'm glad I did it. but I probably won't do it again. But yeah, the Jackson tee is so great. This is I think this was my third version. No, my fourth version. I made 2 like pajama ones, and then this is my second like cropped, more like day wear one, but it's a great pattern. I really, really love it. And then these are the free range slacks, which come together so, so nicely. I really love the pattern. I had made a pair last year, but the tapered leg, and so this is the wide leg. And yeah, they're just so nice. This is a linen cotton mix. So it's pretty like sturdy, and it's really warm, so I think it'll definitely be like good through the fall to wear, even though they are cropped length. Yeah, I really love them, and I think the outfit works really well together. So if you want to know a little bit more about it, I wrote a whole thing for So Queer blog, so it's on the So Your Pride Roundup, so you can check that out. I'll link it below. So on to the next one. So this next one is the Seamwork Madhu top. This came out in May, and I pretty much like downloaded it immediately. I really, really love the raglan sleeves with the little puff. I like that it's a crop top. It goes really nicely. I love it with these pants. I feel like a berry sundae. Yeah, I feel very delicious in this outfit. I think it's super cute. I love these colors together, and I think the shapes work really nicely. So yeah, they both come in a bit at the waist and then are like soft and billowy. So yeah, I really, really love this. This is I made the size 16 in the standard range rather than the curvy range, because I looked at both of the ease charts, and yeah, I thought that the amount of ease in the standard range was going to work a little bit better for what I wanted. And even so, I think I want to shorten the sides here. There's just like a little more billowiness than I would like. So for my next version, I'm just going to shorten up the sides a little bit. Yeah, to have it like a little more straight across the sides. And I'm also really excited to make a dress version. So I think I'm just going to lengthen it, leave out the waist elastic, and do like a tie belt. But I love the neckline. Oops, touched the mic. Sorry. I love the neckline. I love the sleeves, and it comes together really, really nicely. The instructions are great, and the construction is really fun. It was a fun pattern to make, so I really like it. Yeah, on to the next one. So like I said, there was a mini heat wave here in the Netherlands, so I whipped up some of my summer favorites. This is the pattern Scout Hana Tank. It's one of my TNTs. I love this pattern so much, and none of my other ones fit me right now, so I made this one up in a size 18 with the D cup, and this is just in a really simple lightweight chambray, and I think it works really nicely. The only thing that I did differently than the pattern was I used bias binding on the hem and the edges, because trying to do those little turn up hems on the curve of the tie, I'm not even going to try to untie it because I have it like, done really tight. So, but maybe I'll pop in a line drawing. That's what I'll do. There's a really steep curve, and trying to get that tiny little fold, I was just struggling and was having quite a time. So I ended up making up some bias binding with the leftover fabric that I had, which worked really nicely. So I just have it in 2 pieces, meeting at the corner rather than trying to like make a corner, which you totally could do, but I just cut it in separate pieces. And I think it worked really nicely. Yeah, again, I love this pattern. I think it's really fun. It's really well laid out. The construction again, it's a fun one to make. I really love, probably won't be able to see it. No. it's a fold over placket, but then the bias binding like fits in so neatly there. So I really love doing that. I'm also very like chuffed with myself because I needed an extra button. So I have this like itty bitty one here to keep this top closed, and it's the same. It like matches these buttons, but is smaller, which I just think is very cute. And that makes me happy. One of those like tiny details. Okay, get back. Okay, trying not to hit the mic, sorry. Yeah, it's just one of those little details that makes me really happy. Yeah, so next are the shorts. These are the Pietra shorts from Closet Core Patterns. This was my first time making them, and I definitely bit off like more than I could chew. I had thought they're rated easy, and there's nothing difficult about the pattern, but it's definitely one that I needed to stay with the instructions the whole time. The way that the pocket is constructed is really cool, but again, I needed like my full attention there, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I hadn't anticipated that. I wanted to be able to me, an easy pattern is one that I can like read through, put my computer away, and like just do it. And that was definitely like not the case with these. Again, I think they come together really nicely. I love how the side seam is done here, and the way that the facings attach so that you get the elasticated back. It's all very, very neat and very clean, and I love that. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be for the kind of energy that I had that weekend. So it was kind of an emotional lesson for me to learn sewing wise, to not necessarily, like, to give myself more grace and to not just like jump into a project because I thought it was going to be easy and quick. So I ended up being very frustrated for a project I didn't need to be frustrated about. So that was my lesson. But I do love how they turned out. I made them from a remnant. I had made actually a Hana dress a couple years ago with this green linen. And so I had over 1.5 meters left, but I didn't have the full width of it. So I definitely had to play major pattern Tetris to get all the pieces out, because again, the pocket piece is quite large. So there were more pieces than I kind of anticipated. But I got it, and they're done, and I really love them. I made a size 16 from the 14 to 30 range, which has the same measurements, both body measurements and finish measurements, I believe, as the size 18 in their 0 to 20 range. So if that's helpful information, there you go. I did need to take about 2 inches out of the elastic, which I'll show you is maybe like not the best result. So I kind of have some like bunchiness. I feel like the front fits perfect, and the back I maybe need like a flat bum adjustment, or even to like add some darts before I add in the elastic, because yeah, to get it fitted, nice and fitted on my waist, it did really like bunch up the back for more than I have back there. So probably in like a rayon or even like a chambray, it probably wouldn't make that big of a difference, but this linen's pretty stiff, and so you definitely see the excess there. But overall, I'm really happy with them and with the whole outfit. I feel very like camp counselor-esque, but in a way that I love. I really like it. When I put them on together, I was like, yes, this is my final form. Yeah, it's so perfect for summer. It's really nice and breezy and feels very casual. So I'm very happy with this one. So these are the last 2 things I have to share. This one here is another Helen's Closet Jackson tee. It's just my favorite t-shirt pattern. This is it in a viscose. This one here is in a cotton jersey. I probably should have said that, but this is how much different it looks in a viscose. Again, I love this color. As you can see, I actually made this right after I made the Madhu top because I happen to have the color in my overlocker, so I just whipped this up real quick. The fabric was on my Make 9. Initially, I was going to make, I think, a Concord tee with it, but I already had the pattern out for the Jackson tee and the overlocker thread already, so this is what I whipped up, and I'm really happy with it. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to say. I did lengthen the cropped version by 3 centimeters, just because there's not, in most of Helen's Closet patterns, there's a full bust adjustment already in there, but because it is so wide, there isn't, but I still need like the extra length so that it wasn't too cropped. Maybe I'll untuck it and show you. So this is where it hits. So it's a couple inches past my natural waist, which is perfect for wearing with jeans and stuff. But I do like it, and it's long enough this way that I can actually tuck it in. So try to do a little French tuck there. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Jackson tee. Really love it. This is a size 16. My measurements put me at a size 18. But Helen actually has like a little chart to see like what size you could do depending on the fit that you want. So I wanted it a little closer. Again, I mentioned that I made like a couple pajama versions, and those ones I made in my regular size 18. And I love them for sleeping, but they're, yeah, a little wider than I would like for everyday wear. So this is a size down, and I really, really like it. So moving on to these shorts. These are sort of a refashion, or the remnants of a project gone very wrong. I set out to make the Untitled Thoughts olive jumpsuit in this really nice Giorgio linen that I got from Textilstad. And yeah, it was kind of a disaster. This is one of those lessons where you should measure your pattern, and I did not. I just picked my size and went for it. And it did not go well. So the bust darts in the jumpsuit were really low. So I thought like, oh, I'll just shorten the straps, because that's part of the instructions, is there's just one size for the strap so that you can, yeah, play with it a little bit. I tend to be like a bit short here anyway. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll just like shorten that. But to get the bust darts like where they needed to be, I had to shorten it quite a bit. And as a jumpsuit, that meant that everything was shorter. So it became way too short in the rise, and it was oddly like very tight in the high bust. And yeah, I was really bummed, and I set it aside of like, this is just sad. But a couple days passed and I came back to it. I was like, well, I think I can save the shorts. So this is what came out of them. I'm overall really happy with it. I didn't have any more leftover fabric. I really Tetris to get, I think in my size, it required 1.7 meters of fabric, and I had 1.5. So there's definitely no leftover fabric to make a waistband. So I simply, well, I lowered the pockets so that I could fold the top over, and then I just top stitched a channel for elastic, and then another one for the drawstring. The drawstring is actually part of the original pattern, so I got to use that. I will say I went a little too far with my fold. I think I should have done a thinner waistband because they're a little bit too short in the rise. They definitely like want to creep up to my natural waist, which is more like here. So I kind of have to keep like pulling them down, but I think they're great for definitely like great for around the house. They're super comfy. They'll probably be like my favorite sleep shorts, lounge shorts for summertime when it is warm. I love the pockets. I love the little drawstring detail. I think they're super cute, and I'm really happy, most of all, to have rescued something out of a total sewing fail. So I'm really happy that I have something, and yeah, I really like them. So I think they'll go great with another Hana tank. Obviously, like the chambray probably won't go super well because they're like too close in color, but I think I'll whip another one up because I think the shapes of these like mid-rise shorts and the little tie detail will go really nicely together to wear throughout summer. So that's everything I made in June. I hope you enjoyed this little peek into my making, a little peek into my closet. I'll be back probably next week with my plans for the rest of the summer. Got some really exciting things on my to make list. So thank you for watching. Till next time, bye.